Hey, good morning, everyone. It is June 2nd. It's almost 10 a.m. There's some news coming out. I've realized now that like one thing I'm going to write for myself is print news times. So I made myself a couple cheat sheets that I'm going to that I am going to try to use. Just basically writing out the trade and writing out what was the setup, and did I check everything off that I was supposed to follow in the checklist, as well as just kind of like this that I'll have like laminated, not laminated, but in a sheet protector I'll keep out all the time, just kind of with some notes. And I'll just share. I'll share those on the screen, just so that you guys have an idea of what it is. But it's really just more like some technical notes for myself because I color code things when I do TA. Ninja hotkeys. So, I guess really, like, what I defined here is like sentiment, what I define as bullish, what is it defined as bearish, and what's chop. So, chop inside pre-market or inside previous day's range, bullish over previous day high, pre-market high, VWAP, EMAs are stacked, and you have the 10-minute 50 over the 10-minute 200 as those, tends to indicate, a bullish sentiment overall. Bearish is basically the opposite. Under previous day's low, under pre-market low, under VWAP, EMAs are stacked on the 10. That would be negative. So, like, for example, like 9, under 20, under 34, under 50, under 200, right? Like that. I have this, I just have a little acronym here. It says STOP. Stop, take a few deep breaths, observe, and proceed. And then I have, am I predicting price action or reading price action? Luck doesn't scale, habits do. Shout out Robbie. Wicks do the damage, bodies tell the story. So a couple times last week I noticed like very key setups, kind of like this one. Look how this EMA is getting the respect of the body. And so now we would look to see like ideally like what's happening. We just hit VWAP. So this might actually be the place like for the bounce, and we have 4 minutes till this 10-minute candle closes. Should this 10-minute candle come back up and close, well, as long as it closed over 80, I mean, it would be incredibly bullish in any, I think that because you would see that the bulls are defending CPC. However, we do have news at 10 a.m., so I'm not going to take a trade, enter a trade. Again, we've already made that little bit of a bounce, and it might just be a little profit taking as we continue short. So this is not ideal, and I'm not taking this setup. I'm just kind of calling out the wicks of the damaged bodies tell the story look here. And then lastly, just something I picked up in a webinar from watching this weekend is I have my whole life in front of me. Can I repeat this trade setup for the rest of my life? So, I could enter here and maybe get lucky, but I don't know the repeatability of this trade, and I haven't had enough time or taken the time to study it, right? So, again, I can see how this would play out. I could see how we would catch a bounce here. It is a huge retracement on the move, right? And this was a move from 288 to 458. So we're talking about 170 points, and then we just came down here 156 of those. So really enormous retracement and not a whole lot of confidence there in this setup. And then so if we look at it, what do? We swept over previous day's high, which one of the things that I said I wanted to do was to, and I didn't do it on Ninja, is I'm going to labeled horizontal line that's one of my cheat sheets. So it's F6. So I put this here. So now I've got this here. I can double click this text, PDH, oops, and boom, and it's locked. So there it is. And then it looks like it didn't save, so I'm going to save this one too. I actually thought I did this like over the weekend. And then maybe they just didn't save the levels because like, see, there they are. There was a different day when I was studying. I must have just been moving them around. So we get those off of there. So we got those on there now, so we're good. And yeah, you see it's just continuing to come down, right? So a little bit of profit taking, push into that 20 EMA. Bearish cross there on the 512 cloud. So I know the 9 is like really just like crisscrossing right there. So later on, if this continues south, this is going to look like it was like the absolute like perfect entry. And I could see the setup, but it was maybe just because it was such a soft bounce, I should have taken it, right? Because there was, excuse me, no momentum. But We have news in 2 minutes. I think. Let me double check this, because now if we don't have news in 2 minutes. We do, yeah. Okay, so we had final manufacturing PMI 945, which was like a yellow folder, and we have a red folder, manufacturing PMI. Red folder here in a minute, less than a minute, and then orange folder, manufacturing prices here, less than a minute. And then we have a speaker at 10:15. Not too concerned with him. Then of course Powell is speaking at 1. So this is today's. But the one trade that I did take, give me a second and I'll put it up on these the charts. Okay. I just want to switch the accounts and not display my full account number. So whoa. There's the ISM. So anyways, I took this trade right here, right? I saw that we came down, we wicked off of it, I entered. Not the best, it came down, it offered me a second entry there. And the candle did go like this, then go up, and then close back down. So I got really lucky there, scaling for 15 points. No doubt about it, I got luck there. I was in the process of moving my stop up. Once we crested 10 points, I'd move my stop to the break even. I was literally going to set my stop down to do that, and it surged all the way up and filled the order. So quite lucky. So there we go. We are continuing to move lower, and as I said, this is going to appear later as it was the absolute most primo entry, but I don't like to take an entry that I don't want to take an entry that close to the news and put that much risk on. All right. So ES here is pushing very close to pre-market low. But I gotta update it. So I did some minor updates here in terms of making the candles white instead of the very light gray. They pop a little bit more, and I made this a dark, a thicker light blue. So this is previous day high and low, pre-market high and low. So same colors, getting rid of the red. Really like red. It's not my thing. I'm not a big fan of red and black. I know some people live on that color combo, and I'm just dude, that shit is played out. You know, it's not my thing. So we really need to watch VIX here, especially versus 20. So I'm going to put the alert there. Now, beautiful setup here on VIX is that we can close this. It filled this gap. Let me extend this out another hour. I just want to see. You know what? Let me just make this go to the end of the day. Fuck it. We'll go to the end of the day on that one. This is so an opening gap down. So the true gap, 4 p.m. close to 9:30 open, right here, right? Beautiful bounce here, just under the 61 fib. Which when I saw this and I was already I saw this kind of turning green and coming back, and I was already in that long. I was like, oh shoot, I'm in trouble. All right, this has a good chance of failing. So I consider that first trade to be incredibly lucky, and I need to reevaluate why I didn't have more confidence in potentially taking a short, because of how this looks, right? You swept over the previous day high, and you're a very strong, nearly engulfing candle there on the 2. On the 1, very clear, right? And then on the 3, not as clear, right? But still showing the upper wick, and then huge rejection. So need to just check the other time frame, especially the lower time frame, the 1. Now we're pulling back 10-minute looks like it's trying to put in a big lower wick. 2-minute looks like it's just trying to pull back to the EMAs. So I'm going to give this time. I want to give these candles time to close. And I want to see just if we are going to hold and respect under VWAP or if this is just going to make a full recovery. But it looks like here on Thinkorswim, there was a jump and a gap down. And you can see it here as well. Right here. So a little bit of a gap. See the close of this 2-minute candle, the open of the news candle. So basically at 10 a.m., there was just a pull of the bids, and then the next closest bid was right there. So, and watching this go, one of the things I'm most proud of this morning, I was just literally like, wow, that was a big move. That came out of nowhere. And there was like no feeling of FOMO or I need to chase or I need to get in that. It was just like, hey, I will just wait until it gives me a pullback opportunity, which it did, and I took it. And that's my job, is to take that pullback opportunity. NVIDIA pulling down, Apple pulled down, Meta filled an old gap. Projected AMD is holding up fairly well. Semis are okay. AVGO as well, over 245. Looking good. Tesla gap up, filled gap, 10-minute 200 rejection. That MTF hourly MTF cloud rejection now under pre-market low. I'll run through them. So this is what I'm looking at here. I gotta fix these charts up to the red, but yeah. So this whole gap is now filled. This is Memorial Day weekend gap up is now filled. Bottom right today. So yeah. Let's look at some of the plays from the podcast real quick. Oh shit. I didn't clean these up, but yeah, this is decent. I think this one's still got room. Look at this, is strong. They're holding this. I'm looking for a couple days of sideways drift to potentially enter closer to it. Yeah, here's Elf. So just inside. Oh, just barely wicked under that. Look at that. Previous day low wick. Now popping up $2. All right. Go back to Tesla. Fill the gap. Rejected. Off. Rejecting. Had a big rejection right here off of a gap fill. Right. Watch these gaps. So go to the. We'll just expand this out a few days. So you see this rejection is very clear. So then pre-market there was some rejection there, so we know we have sellers in pre-market. But boom, this is where it is. We have the close on 514. The close on 514 followed by a gap down, then rejection out of the golden zone orb high on 515, and then big move down, right? Yeah. And I think this was so very good. I could have just did this. Six. See, the webcam's in the way. I gotta like clear this out. I don't use all these. Use a few of them. There's AMD. So semis holding strong. Yeah, there we go. Look at AVGO. NVIDIA nice off the MTF here. No CBC flip yet. Look at. There we go. So that gap was filled, that little gap. VIX rejected 20. Gonna move this down just, let's go down a hair. Let's go down to like 19.9, maybe. What is 1975? Okay, that's a big move back up, 1975. So we'll leave it there. Yeah, ES didn't break the pivot. CPC is still short and long here. So we've got time to give the market a chance to decide what it wants to do. And then while we do that, I'm just going to pause this here and... Alright, I'm back. Let me adjust these charts. I want to just go back to like the next count that would be traded. Market trying to stay a little heavy there. Bounce. So this is a tough spot, right? Are we going to hold VWAP or rejecting EMAs? What are we doing? We have a long wick body there. Big hammer candle off the lows, sweeping under the open, and this low pivot. So VIX is spiking up some. Yeah, right off the top of the gap too. Right off this MTF, the 10-minute 200. That was still breaker, re-break there. Okay, so let's see if we get a... If we were to get a pullback inside of this body, I think this would be a good short to take.
Order submitted.
Wait a second. Dropping. Yeah. Hold on. All right.
Order
Oh, shit.
submitted.
Give it time to give it some room. I was about to move my stop in. Sorry. Don't want to get wicked out of this, which is what I'm afraid of. Not afraid of, I think just suspicious of. Cautious of. Did pull against me in there. Fuck. Hmm. Correcting. Move this down because I just don't.
Order canceled.
There's something about this I don't like. I don't know if I just don't like that it's taking too long or what, but I could have been stopped already once, and so I'm gonna just wait. So let me just do this really quick. So this was the entry at 10. So the target, the take profit would have been like here. Let's just see. Because like look at VIX is turning down, and I think I'm on the wrong side of this. I think this is a VWAP break and base reclaim. Yep. Okay. Okay. So I already like I'm already feeling good about it. Like had it gone up a second time against me 15 points, I might have just like slapped the close button anywhere in there. So instead, like I walked away with like $35 or whatever on the trade. Which is silly, right? It's like 2 points after plus minus commissions, but because it's $40 total, I think it's showing. So 36 after commissions are factored in. It's not a big deal, but like, I guess I'm just calling it out that I'm just not seeing the strength from the bears anymore, and that's evident in watching the trade. And I can re-enter or take any other trade.
Order filled. Order filled.
Shit, it just jacked up one of the accounts here on this copier. It's fine. It's like now that account's down $35. Whatever. Yeah, and look how this looks on the 10 too, right? So nothing closing under the opening print, or blow fake out breakout look, still within the 10-minute EMAs. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think for sure. I'm starting to really think for sure I'm on the wrong side of this yet, but I don't like that 2-minute CBC is short and we're under the EMAs with the bodies. So, boom, there we go. Okay, for sure. I made the right call. We can move on. I should have been really good read on the VIX though. The VIX like helped. Like once I saw this started to like it turned and it was no longer a green candle. That was like the ultimate clue, like, whoa, buddy, you might be on the wrong side. So let's see. Ah. For real. Look at that. Top risk, huh? NVDA is still not flipping short. It's showing a. Come on. Showing a tweezer bottom setup here, right on the EMAs. Stopping here. All right, is it trying to hold to reverse or what? NVDA. Hundred percent was going to be on the wrong side of that trade. There we go. Look at the cloud. You can see the gray cloud pinching here. Beautiful the way it was holding the lower side of that. So a good reversal. Look for a pullback. Here, oh, there we go. There we go. Come on, NVIDIA. Come on, NVIDIA. Sending you strong. Damn, look at UNH 313. Good deal. Big swing on that one. Bull needs to run. We're good. Perfect. To see the Dominican go strong. Market on. More. Trying to. That way I don't have to like. There we go. Let's go like this. There we go. A little bit tighter there. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Gotta get under 19. We gotta break this low day here. Just did it too. It literally just did the little pullback there. 46. Look at this, 20 points. Pulse peak. Meta turning around, nice. Google over 170s now. AVGO about to break out new high day. There it is. That'll help the market. That'll help the market. The semis are strong. Semis are strong. Semis are strong. All right, what am I looking at? EMA strength. 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 No CBC flip, right? Apple, tariffs, all kinds of crap. AI news on Meta. Strength. Let's check on maybe like Microsoft. Actually, no CBC flip on Microsoft either. It's still bullish. So Tesla trying to turn around. I mean, it's, you know, looks like a Warblow fake out breakout for now. So see if we get a bit of a push. Right? Again, the biggest thing is going to be this right here. You hear that alert, it's going to signify a lot. Push But VIX has been a good guide, right? The CBC flipped back bearish on VIX first before we got the flip on NQ and ES. Great. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good. Go. Come on, NVIDIA. You're lagging right now. Okay, we're at mid orb. Need for the bulls, we gotta close, you know, back over that mid orb, back over that previous day close, and negate the bearish golden zone. Right? But VIX is falling. VIX is guiding on ES, right? Looking at from the high of the day to the low. It's very much negating that. It's got to close over the 10-minute 200, regain this MTF cloud, regain the golden zone of the gap down. You know, I don't want to see this act as resistance now, even though we kind of swiped over it. Sometimes you just get the 1-2 and then it fails. So good stuff. Literally waiting. I'm watching. There we go. So wrong. Exited properly. Exited as best as I could. Charts. We go Apple trying to curl. Trying to get a little B going. Tempest moving. PLTR. UNH. Okay. All right, 10:30. Initial balance is set. So the initial balance levels are the orb levels. On oh no, I'm sorry they're not. I'm sorry they're not. We broke the orb. So, but the orb high is the initial balance high. Come on. VIX has got to drop here. Come on, VIX at 19. Ah, Lee. Right on the orb midline here. Okay, there's a 10% scale, or a little bit greater than 10% scale on NVDA. There's VIX dropping. Let's go. Ooh. Oh my gosh. My next scale was 2 cents away on these cons? That's crazy. Go figure. Alright, I got another alert. So VIX put in a new low of day and then pop back up. I'm not liking that. Watching this intently. 40. Come on. I want to see this. I'm just gonna move it. I want to see this gap filled. Gotta get the gap filled like 5 and then bring. Gonna be any. Hmm. Ooh. Okay. Jesus VIX. I feel like this is like the buy the fear candle. I don't know. Not too hard. 2 minutes left. I have to take this one. Wait. Tesla bear flag breakdown. Yeah. Wow, yeah, Tesla fell in that one. Pushed up looking good and it just failed right from that moment. I think that was the right there. But we'll see. Which writing down my notes. I think NVIDIA still looks good. There was some sellers there, but no overtaking.
And that completes our third and final cycle. Congrats for making it.
This is the this camp. I'm gonna jump out of video here. For a smaller gain there, so. I should show that on the screen. I just, when it pushed up, made the middle of the wick and started to turn back down, to me that just doesn't look good. Doesn't look right. I could be wrong, and I'm fine like if I'm wrong. Yeah. Yep. So like the more this goes, now we're getting close to my entry. I'm okay. Let's see what's going on here. Lower high setup. Oh. Tesla's really falling. I think this is holding.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Taking it. I think it's holding. Well, fuck. There's a weak looking candle that just closed. We're playing safe.
Order canceled.
All right, I gotta take this off the screen. I gotta run through the accounts really quick while they're on the copier and just make sure that there's not a phantom order sitting there like there was on that last trade. Ah, see, there is.
Order filled.
Got one.
Order filled.
Got another one. This thing is not working well today. So... really just have like one account that's about $50 lower than everything else. Wow! Wow, dude, is this really gonna be the second time of this? Holy shit. I'm just gonna take a screenshot. I want to send this over to Robbie. Wow. CBC still flipping. Looks like it's gonna flip on that INQ candle. Okay, so here's where we're at. I think we're going to just, as silly as this is, I would like to have these counts like relatively close.
Order filled. Target filled.
All right. Oh, for real? Like, I did this too. You know, I just gotta say this, right? Before I go over things. Like, I basically played the same thing, like, between NVIDIA and Meta was the one. Right? Because this is up like $6. This moved like $1. You know? It moved like shit. I'm going to happily cut today short. I have spent way too many hours over the past, like, probably 2 months just, like, sitting here, staring at charts, looking for trades, over trading, and the biggest thing, wearing my mind down. I'm gonna mute this for a second while I'm talking. I don't even know if you guys can hear that. I imagine it's getting noise canceled out. But even like Microsoft was the better one, you know, and there's a strong possibility that this NVIDIA trade could like still work out. But I'm happy that I just took it for a scalp and I got out for the rest of it green. It sucks that I missed a scale for like $1 or $2 off of target, but it doesn't matter. But I'm happy. I'm gonna be happy to just get off the charts, right, and just kind of give myself a mental break. Unfortunately, I will probably still peek the charts. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's just habit. I find myself on Saturday and Sunday, like, I open up my phone and I go to Thinkorswim, and then I'm like, ah, duh, dummy, you know. And then like, but then occasionally I'll think about like, oh, what's this ticker up to, and I'll just like pull up Thinkorswim and like, you know, be looking at a specific ticker like that I haven't thought about or talked about, you know, in a couple days or whatever. Or I might check on like a long-term trade. etc. You know, like something I'm holding, like a dividend stock or whatever, right? But like, oh, how's this been lately? Like just for example, this morning I was, you know, again, the market was open, but I was really interested in, I just wanted to see what GLD was doing, right? So gold. Looking at this on the daily, this is one I have in my long term, from like here. Like, I mean, I could go back, I need to go back and chart out the exact date that it was entered. But it's somewhere in the I believe the 181 range. So I think it's in this general area. That's roughly where it is. But anyways, I was just like, how's this doing? Because like at one point the chart looked like this, and I was like, oh damn, like did we just top, right? Like you had a super high volume candle there. Oops, I want to just like zoom in. Come on, Joe, zoom in. Oh shit. Yeah, so you had a super high volume candle there on on my daughter's birthday. And I was like, oh damn, like big engulfing candle there off the highs with like crazy high volume, nearly 3 times, you know, did we just top? And then so I just waited, you know, kind of watched, been in it for a long time, and I was like, okay, you know, like this was kind of almost like the moment where I was like, man, maybe I should just like take my profits on this and like move on or re-enter later. But I've held it, and now we're sitting here. And so like it is this ticker, you know, is a very well, one thing I don't like is that I'm not getting paid a dividend on this one, sadly. But this ticker does look like now like it's just sitting in this kind of nice flag, right? And so maybe not like that. Maybe, you know, you could draw it like this, right? And so you see the good flag there, and then weekly. But anyways, this looks good. Like weekly, it looks like, this is still pretty good, right? Because even that weekly with the big high volume there was, you know, look, you had high volume here on the breakout. So it looks like breakout and kind of retest. It actually doesn't look that bad when you continue to zoom out, right? But nevertheless, you know, that I know I will just keep I will keep watching, you know, keep an eye on charts and say like, oh, what's going on here, right? Like I see Apple's pushing right now. The market's not really doing anything. VIX is just stuck at 19. What do I think is likely going to happen is that we're waiting for Powell. So I'll just go ahead and wait. I need to go to the DMV. I need to do that stupid real REAL license thing, real ID, so that way I don't have to have a passport when I fly domestically. Stupid. So I'll go sit at the DMV and just chill out, whatever. Probably just probably bring my laptop and my notebook and just take notes as I continue to just study and refine. But for the day, not terrible. I'll just go ahead and show you like the Apex accounts here, just slowly adding to them. Nothing special. You know, when you take out commissions and like this one ended up at 440, this one ended at 400. You know why? Is because like I hit flatten all after I realized that 2 of them were still in a trade, and it didn't flatten. What it did was it like just flipped me. So it entered me into a position and went off that first trade, and it actually like ticked down a few points short before I was like, this is still moving. Oh my God, get me out. Because I don't want to be in a trade like just randomly. So I lucked out on that. I made a few extra bucks. It happens. It goes both ways, right? So that's the beauty of probably trading, you know, the small size. Again, I can see how this is still very bullish, and we're gonna need to turn hard for it to go anywhere else. I don't want my phone just like pinging constantly, so I am gonna move the alert all the way down to under 18, and I'm gonna move this alert to pre-market high, so over 20. So I don't want to have to. I can't adjust alerts on my phone without creating new ones, and I like these ones, you know, because they literally say VIX new high a day. When it goes off, I get a text message. Same thing here. And they're repeating alerts. I don't have to keep adding them. I made a video on that. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's on my channel, how to create repeating alerts. So that's it for today's session. And if you gained any value out of it, let me know. If you're down with the vibe, like and subscribe, baby. And I'll see you guys later.